Forget about your opinions in this video. Forget about opinions and he say, she say. If you have read the Bible and understand who the Most High is, what the Most High is, who Israel is, what Israel is, who's supposed to be set apart instead of playing apart, who's Christian, who's this, who's that, where do you fit in that? The question says, is it a sin to cross-dress? How does cross-dressing makes the Most High feel? You see many actors, many celebrities, many comedians. You see men playing roles. You see people who say they are not homosexual or whatever, cross-dressing. Or you see women playing roles who say they're not lesbians, but they dress up like a bulldog. But once again, not about opinions, especially if you read Deuteronomy, chapter, 22. What does the Bible say about cross-dressing? Now, I know you have an ongoing argument about this. And I'm gonna go back old school scripture, like I say all the time, old school. You gotta know the Torah. You got too many people skipping past it. Yah said, "Be ye holy, for I am holy." Was those other nations cross-dressing? For those who was following along when we talk about the book of Enoch, why was the Most High so mad at Enoch? See, when you start talking about, ladies, don't get mad at me, please. Eyelashes, all these thick eyelashes you see now in cosmetics with all this makeup, the things that the fallen angels, or we're going to say like the book of Enoch called them, the things that the watchers taught the women, that the women are fascinated with now and love. I'm not talking about all women. Not talking about all women. But the stuff that's in the makeup that messes with your skin, the stuff that causes cancer. Why, instead of being set apart, why so many continue to play apart? All this ties in together, cross-dressing. Let me talk about one of the greatest of all. If you never knew this about Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye daddy was a cross-dresser. Marvin Gaye hated it. Not only was he a cross-dresser, but Marvin Gaye's daddy was a Pentecostal preacher who loved to cross-dress. That's something wrong off top when you got a minister who's supposed to be of the gospel who loves to cross-dress. That's confusing. That's not of the Most High. So this pissed Marvin Gaye off. If you really understand, you know why Marvin Gaye was so angry with his dad. His daddy was very abusive. Marvin Gaye had a bad relationship with his old man. And I think about that because Marvin Gaye, his songs, his music, Marvin showed you that he didn't want to be nothing like his father also. There's a whole lot behind Marvin Gaye that people that never just understood. Can you imagine as a man, to my men that's listening, if your dad was a cross-dresser, how so many in the neighborhood could tease you? Hey, look at your dad dressing like a woman. But then look at how many years ago they was already dressing like women. Look at Flip Wilson. Look at your old shows when men was already dressing like women to be funny with it, to make money that was being used back then. So now you see the Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry went famous with it, with playing Madeira. But my thing is, why do people act like it's new? The thing about Tyler is Tyler found the way to do it through the church. Nobody catch that later. To really get successful. But cross-dressing been going on. Most High never liked it. I saw a woman the other day arguing at the store. They was a lesbian couple. Man, this woman looked so much like a man. The jeans that she had on, the shirt that she had, the haircut that she had. I had to look twice just to see that she was a woman. And they was arguing right by their car because I was parked right beside them. And she was so manly, somebody catch that. And the one she was with was so feminine, somebody catch that. It was so much confusion, I know you catch that. You see tomboys, well, I ain't gay, I'm a tomboy. But a lot of women who used to be tomboys turned into lesbians. A lot of men who wanted a son, but they never had a son, they tried to make their daughter be so much of a son that the daughter got confused. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They had the daughter doing manly things, so the daughter now hard on the dude. What's her feminine side? I'm not talking about all men and all women, of course. So when you add this in with this cross-dressing, look at what cross-dressing has done to so many people. You got people that's in love with cross-dressing. And it's the reason why the Most High showed us in Deuteronomy, don't do this. Because he knew what it was going to do to the mindset, to the actions, to the heart, to the mind, to the body, and to others. Israel, we suppose, had been setting the example. Being the teachers, well, y'all hear me say this all the time, but instead of being set apart, we kept playing apart. You know how many people that cross-dress, they often to idol worship? I remember comedians that said they would never put on a dress and dress up like a woman. They did it. See, as I close, a lot of people got a problem with Dave Chappelle. But I'm going to say something here. When you look at the comedian Dave Chappelle, you ever wonder why Dave Chappelle makes certain comments and things he said in this comedy that other comedies won't? And you wonder why he rejected all that money that time. You notice out of all the comedians that stick out, you may see one like Dave Chappelle, or I'm gonna say somebody like Eddie Griffin. They'll say some things that other comedians won't, and then the other comedians be like, I can't get away with that and say that. Matter of fact, Mike Epps just said this. Mike Epps said, when you look at Dave Chappelle, the things that Dave Chappelle say, he can say it and get away with it. But then Mike Epps made a statement that I can't say that and get away with it. I've heard Steve Harvey say that. I can't get away with that. Why? Because it'll mess up their money. See, Dave Chappelle turned down a lot of money. He was showing them, you don't own me. Or why you got certain comedians that can hit them Netflix specials where other ones just, they got to continue to follow the master in so many ways. The things that Chappelle say, I've never heard come out of the mouth of a whole lot of them. The things I've heard Eddie Griffin say, it's a lot of comedians won't say it. And like Mike Epps say, man, I can't say that and my career be still going on. They'll snatch my money away from me. And that brings me to the question, integrity. How far will people go? Marvin Gaye, dad, as a Pentecostal preacher, he didn't mind trying to preach the word and be a cross-dresser. These homosexuals in the church don't mind being a homosexual on the organ. These homosexual pastors, they don't mind. It don't matter about what the word says. A lot of them have sold out. Cross-dressing should never be done. When you look at, oh man, it's just funny to see this, see that, and see that. It should never been done that way. Now, y'all asked me a question years ago. Do I think everybody that plays a cross-dresser to get paid is gay? No, I'm not going to say everybody that put on a woman clothes as a man is gay. I don't get that off of watching some of them. I just know some people that do it for money. Now, you may disagree with me on that. Now, I will say this. When you ask me about a gay scene, do I believe that most men that can play a gay scene are homosexual? Yeah. And I know that may sound weird, but y'all just give me some feedback on that. You don't have to agree with me all the way on that, because it's just like men that I know, man. Like, yeah, I'll put a dress on, man. You give me $400,000-$500,000. Yeah, I go on and put a dress on. But then I know men that say, no, I ain't gonna put on no dress, no. No, I can't do it, bro. Or you might hear, I remember back in the day, this dude asked this dude, he said, man, would you play a gay scene in the movie, man, for $100,000? That man said, no, I would. He said, my integrity. I wouldn't play no no gay man for $100,000. Man, I got sons, man. I got 4 sons, bro. I got children, bro. And the other man said, hell, I'll do it for 50,000. He said, hell, I even get in the bed with him for 100,000. See, some men will never put on a dress. Y'all catch what I'm saying? Some men will. Some men will go all the way out to what? For that love of money. For that love of money. That, man, Hollywood has done a number on a lot of men. Anything is going on. You see it. But there are some men, you can't pay them to cross dress. I remember Terrence Howard said this. Terrence Howard, he said it was always a problem with him when they wanted him to play a scene slapping a woman and a scene of being gay. Now, have you ever seen Terrence Howard play a gay role? Think about it. There's a man, I can't think his name, white guy. He was off in the movie Walking Tall with The Rock, the one that owned the casino. He got fired from doing a lot of movies because he wouldn't do scenes with kissing women. He said he don't believe in that. And he wouldn't even get a job as a movie actor because he wouldn't do kissing scenes. So everybody ain't selling that. And that's why a lot of people have left Hollywood. But then some, hey. So answer this question for me. And I just can't, I'm loving y'all feedback. Every man that put on a dress and act like a woman, is he gay? I'm talking to the men now for sure. And ladies, I want to hear your input. But do you believe every man that put on a dress is all the way gay? Or do you believe a man can play a role as a woman and still be all man? I'm gonna give you an example of why I'm saying this. I'm gonna go hard. Let me go to my man Vin Rames. Jody, we gotta stop this. Vin Rames played it in the movie called I think it was called Holiday is Heart. Dressed up like a woman. Do you believe Vin Rames is full-blown homosexual because he played that scene in that movie? Or do you believe old Melvin from Baby Boy, was he still man? I remember Vin Rames explaining that. He said, ain't nothing soft and gay about me. I'm an actor. He said, I want anybody to try me. If they think different, try me. I'll show you with these hands who I am and what I can do. So you got the men out here that act like they gay to play these. I remember this movie, what was this movie? This guy was playing gay in the barbershop, and the women was in love with him. And that's what he was doing. Every time he go to the barbershop, he was doing all the gay movement and talking about how he loved men. And then when he got on the phone, I can't remember what movie this was. And they said, we thought you was gay. I said, no, man, I just play that to get paid. I love women. But then here go the thing. Only the Most High know the heart of that individual. You don't have to agree with me with everything I'm saying. Y'all already know these videos cause a lot of confusion to people. But that's my number one question, though. Do you believe, ladies and men, answer this, do you believe that every man that play a gay role is gay? Or do you believe they can play that role without being a homosexual? Let me just use the term homosexual. And I'm going to ask this, Marvin Gaye, the name was G-A-Y at the end. But then the E was added. So it was really gay, G-A-Y. But you remember back in the day, gay didn't mean all the way like you see now. It just meant happy. But now, that's why more people say the word homosexual. But Marvin Gaye, the letter E was added on there. And so when you look at the anger and frustration of Marvin Gaye couldn't stand his daddy. He hit his daddy. And we all know how Marvin Gaye died. So, man, that's just a story I always thought about, man. Not a story, it was actually real life of his dad being a cross-dresser. And then you look at a lot of these pastors now who are, if they're not cross-dressing, they're homosexual. They bishops who are homosexuals. There's musicians who are homosexuals. So you got lesbians over the praise team. I mean, it's all over the church now. They got mad when D.L. Hughley said the black church is one of the gayest places in the world, but D.L. Hughley was just telling the truth. He was just telling the truth. So on that note, y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. Shalom, family.